Hello. It's Tina from CNC Designs. And tonight we are going to be making some Christmas ornaments. And I hope you will join me and enjoy what you're seeing. We're going to be using a variety of supplies tonight. We're going to be making a couple of ornaments. I'm going to show you at least one of each different type that I have here on the table tonight, plus a few more. And hopefully you will be able to glean enough to be able to make your own. As always, you can always message me on the page, ask any questions that you need to ask. I am also a designer with Magnolia Design Stencil Company. I am a creator with them. I have my own website. So any Magnolia stencils that we will be using tonight, I will try and post a link if those stencils are available. Some of my stencils are repeats from last year, but I think quite a few of them are still available. So hopefully you'll like what I'm doing with those and you'll be able to order some for yourself to create your own style of ornaments. I am creating most of my ornaments tonight in kind of a primitive rustic style because that's how my Christmas tree is going to be this year. This use me as just inspiration for ideas. You can switch up and use any colors you like to match your decor. I'm just giving you the basics and the foundation for how it is that I am doing these ornaments that we are making tonight. So if you are watching, and again, if you see the red light above my head, that means we are live. Please drop hello in the comments. Please send the love out to your friends. Tell them that we are on live. Ask them to join us. If we get 100 eyeballs on us tonight, I will do a giveaway at the end of this live. Also, if you are watching and you do not see the red light above my head, that means you're watching me on replay. So please put hashtag replay in the comments. Make sure you say hello. Please let me know if this is your first time watching so that I can properly greet you and invite you to our creator page where I invite different crafters and creators to join in, show us what you're making, and let's craft and create some beautiful things together. I'm Tina Horton from CNC Designs. I create an eclectic mix of all types of crafts. I don't think I have any one particular style that I lean towards. I like to dibble and dabble in everything. And I like to use different styles, although most of my crafts do have a look that certainly lets you know that they are mine. So again, I thank you for watching. Hello, Miss St. Orange and Miss Buskert Sills. I am Marlene and Kara. Thank you for watching. Please drop in the comments where you're watching from so I can properly say hello and we can become better friends. So I'm just going to show you what we're going to start off with tonight. Tonight we are making some primitive star ornaments that look like this. And how this is made is I just hand drew some stars on a manila folder and I cut them out to use as my templates. I have two different sizes. And then I took them and I just got some plain cardboard box, something that I got delivered in the house, and I put my template onto the cardboard and traced my stars using an X-Acto knife and cut them out. So that it's just as simple as that. That's how you create this particular ornament. Once you've got your cardboard star cut out, most cardboard on the core of it, you'll see it has like some corrugation. So if you peel that first layer of paper back, it exposes the corrugated piece of the cardboard as opposed to the flat slick piece. And if you peel that paper away, you get something that looks like this, that you can paint and embellish and give you another style of ornament. So here is an example of the smaller version, and I'll show you how we're going to make that tonight. And then here is the same star, just with the cardboard peeled away that first layer. So I hope that makes sense for you. Again, no particular style, just freehand drew the stars. For those who are in my Magnolia Monthly Craft Club, part of their Thank you for being in my craft club, as I share different printables and things that I create with them every other month, or at least every month. This month, those in my craft club will get the pattern to be able to make their own primitive star ornaments. Hello, Miss Snyder. Thank you for joining. So again, this is what the finished item looks like, and I'm going to show you how we make that. Let me just put this one away, because these are actually my ornaments for my tree this year. So I am going live creating a lot of things for my own tree that'll be in my home this year. And once my tree is up and decorated, I'll certainly share that with you so you can see all that we've done together while it's on the tree. So here is one of the stars that I cut out of the cardboard, and that cover, or that grid that you see on the front of it, is simply made out of a brown paper bag. If you've been watching me, I've been asking everyone, if you're going to craft along with me, make sure you get some of these in your arsenal. They sell them in all supermarkets, and you can certainly pick up a pack in Dollar Tree. This I bought from the supermarket. This was like maybe $2 and something, and it was 100 bags versus the Dollar Tree that I think only has 50. So I use these all the time. I'll be using them in several more crafts. So you definitely want to pick you up some lunch bags, because when you see what we create with them, you're going to want to recreate and make your own. So make sure you get them and have them in your stash. Hello, Miss Smith. How are you? Thank you for joining. So again, we have our star. And what I did with the paper bag, let me just get one out to show you. You just take one lunch bag, and the bottom of the lunch bag, everybody knows it's flat like this. You put your contents in. You're gonna fold these two ends up together this way. And then you're gonna take your scissor and you're just gonna cut along the line of that fold. Actually, you can keep this because you can put little items in here. You can stick your paintbrush in here while you're painting. I will be using this tonight to kind of lay my little stir sticks from my paste for my magnolia stencils in. So these also come in handy. I try not to throw anything away. I try to find a use for everything. So you're going to take your bag at that point, and you're just going to cut it open. I like to try to cut along the seam of the bag. You just want it wide enough so that you can put your star down onto your bag. So I'm gonna keep this one because I have several more stars that I have to cover. But I'm gonna use this one that I already had cut. And basically, now that you have this bag open, you're just gonna take this bag and crumple it up. The more wrinkles you have, the better the ornament looks, in my opinion. So I love to do this, and it gives it a lot of texture. Plus, it's a good stress reliever after working all day. So then I open it up, and I just wrinkle it again. The more you wrinkle it, the smaller your texture lines will be, and it'll really, really look like something that does not look like a brown paper bag on top of your star. I've done several crafts using this particular technique, and people always ask me, what is that on top? You know, is that leather? Is that suede? You know, is that wood? It's just a good old paper bag. So now I'm gonna take, I have a love-hate relationship with hot glue. I try not to use it if it's not necessary. So we're gonna use a good old Elmer's glue stick, because after all, this is just paper. And we're gonna apply that glue stick all over our star. Make sure you get it down on your points, especially because you don't want it coming apart. So we're gonna just close this up. I'm gonna bring my paper bag back into the picture, and I'm gonna lay my star down on top of it so that it's fully covered. Then I'm gonna turn this over. And what I'm gonna do here is I'm just taking my fingers and I'm moving them to kind of scrunch it up to make it even have more texture. If when you're scrunching, that means that maybe one of the tips is showing, don't worry about that, because we can fix that by just simply using an excess piece and replace wherever the star is now exposed. So I'm just moving my fingers, just kind of pulling it up, making some peaks and some valleys, so that when we use our inks and our paints and our rub and buff to embellish, it has something to catch on to. So there you can see there. So now we have our bag stuck. And what we're gonna do now is just I'm gonna take my scissor. I do see that I need to put a little bit more glue here already. So let me just add some here onto this tip. I'm gonna take my scissor and just kind of cut some of this excess away from my star so that I can see what I'm working with even better. I always just keep those extra pieces right there on the table because I may need to take it and add some in some places. So we're just going to cut around the shape of our star, as close to the star as we can get. And that's what we have. So on this one, if you can see right there on that tip, I'm missing a little bit of a brown paper bag. So I'm going to cut this off even closer. And I'm going to take a little bit of glue, add it there. And what I'm going to do is just grab a piece of the extra bag and just put it on to have it fit and cover that piece that was showing. This glue is purple. It goes on purple, but it does dry clear. So if you got a little bit in the front, don't worry about it. It will dry clear and it will not be seen in your finished product. So I'm just gonna add a little bit more because this piece is a little bit bigger than we need it. And again, I'm just gonna go around my star. I'm gonna take these pieces and put them over here. Thank you, Miss Smith. It's a lot of fun, and I mean, it's just the possibilities are endless. What you can do with this, with a paper bag, is just amazing. There is a crafter on Facebook. Her page is the Silver Farmhouse. She does a lot of things with paper bags. If you like this kind of work, definitely check her out. Lisa is her first name. And Lisa is amazing. She does a lot of things with paper bags. I think she's probably one that loves paper bag crafting even more than me, which is saying something because I really love to craft with paper bags. I'm just checking my edges and just pulling up and applying a little bit more glue where I think it might be needed. Again, I don't like to flatten mine down. I like the ridges. I like the texture that is in the star. So I try not to make it flat, too flat. You can certainly make it absolutely flat. I just want to show you another one I have done. This is not embellished yet, but if you see, I have like a little band on the middle of this star, and I'm thinking of trying to make this one look a little bit like maybe Santa's outfit. So we'll see how it works. I'll show it to you guys. I'll make sure I post it if if and when I get that completed. But here we are. I don't know why I still seem like this little corner is not working for me. You can definitely use hot glue if you feel like that works best, especially in your corners. What I usually typically do is wait until I sand it. I have my little finger sander here, and I have also some emery boards here that help me to kind of get rid of that excess paper. And I just sand away from me, and you'll see that that paper just comes right off and gives you a clean edge. So that happens fairly quickly, because remember, we trimmed most of it away with our scissors, so there's not a whole lot to sand away. But I definitely like to do the sand method, just especially to get up in those corners, to make it look really nice and professionally done. Just because it's paper and cardboard, that doesn't mean that it has to look like that when we're finished. And this helps you to get really nice clean lines and makes the piece look really good. I think I need to cut that there. Okay. So as you see, when you sand away from yourself, and you'll see that paper is just coming right off. Okay. So this is what we have. So now we're going to get this mess up. We're going to use our little vacuum. I don't want to tear my pad. To try and get most of those papers up. And I'm going to put these scraps to the side. And now I'm going to show you how we embellish this, or how I embellish this. So what I typically do is, again, in keeping with my color scheme, I have some inks here. I have some paint pens here. And I hope I have my rub and buff somewhere on this table. Let me just check really quickly. If not, I'll probably have to add some of that later. I don't see it at the table at the moment, but that's okay. So what I usually do is I take my little makeup applicators and I just get out my Tim Holtz Distress Oxide ink pads. This is the color Ground Espresso. I'm going to take a little bit of that, and I'm just going to just lightly wash over my star. Doesn't matter if you get it, you know, not at every place, because you don't want full coverage. Because we're going to blend a couple of colors into this, so it doesn't, you don't have to cover the entire star with the Ground Espresso, sorry. So I hope you can see the little hints of that. And then the next color that we're going to bring in is Rusty Hinge. I use a different applicator for each color just because I'm lazy, quite honestly, and I really don't like cleaning these things. So I find that I don't really have to clean them if I'm using the same applicator for each color. So this, I can see, is popping off really nicely, and it is definitely giving this the look and the feel that I wanted. I do have some excess here. Let me just trim that off. And the next color I think I want to bring in is, there's one called Rustic Wilderness, and it's a green color. I think it's a nice color that blends in well for this season of Christmas. So we're gonna just add some hints of that. No particular way to do it. You just do it until your eyes are smiling and happy. Okay, so I'm gonna put those away for now. And I would like to bring in a little bit of my dark wax. I have Kiehl's dark wax. I think I got this from Walmart. I definitely know I didn't buy it here anywhere in the city because I didn't know any place to sell it. It's either, it's probably most likely Walmart or Amazon. Those are the places where I mostly buy online when I'm looking for supplies such as this, paints and things like that. So as you can see, that Kiehl's wax really is starting to make this star pop. So you can add it where you want. I'm definitely gonna hit all the edges because I really want this star to pop out off my tree. I may bring it on, more onto the star in some places than others. Make it a little darker in some areas. That's all in the character of the piece. I'm just gonna hit a little bit of these high areas with this dark wax. And when I hold it up for you, you'll see why that is a key element in this process. Now look at what we have. So what do you think so far? Anybody like this? Anybody think they're gonna try it? I'm sure everybody has a supply for this in their home already. This is not something you have to go searching and buying stuff for. Everybody has a piece of cardboard in their house right now. This is a Posca paint pen in the color gold. I'm just going to go around lightly in some areas just to bring in some of that gold. And because I don't have my rubbing buff at the table with me. So as you can see, there's, no particular, just hitting certain areas just to give it those gold highlights. Let me see if I can turn on my light, if that makes it better for you. I don't know if that's gonna make it better or worse, honestly. But yeah, I think you can see some of it now. So that is how you create this particular star, and then you can embellish it however you like. I am going to be embellishing mine with some Christmas greens and some bells. I have this this came off of a garland, and I've just been taking pieces from it and using those pieces to decorate my ornaments. So let's see what this looks like. I know I brought my wire cutters to the table today. I did. And here they are. Okay. So I'm thinking for this one, something like this. I think that looks really nice, and I think it's gonna blend in well with my decor. On the other one, let me just bring that back so I can show you what we did. We have one of our Magnolia minis, the one that says the light of the world. We have that. I use that stencil on a piece of manila file folder and cardboard, and that's how I created that. And then we have some rusty bells that we added to it. So I'm going to show you how we do that. Let's add our greenery first, and then I think we will look at maybe another bell. But these bells from Amazon, some of them make noise, some of them don't. So you definitely have to be a little bit careful when you buy things like that. You'll get, you know, one or two ones that, well, that'll happen with, but that's no big deal. At least I don't think so. So I'm thinking that will be a good look for that. Hello, Miss McMillan, how are you? So what I want to do is take a little bit of my jute string that I have here, and I'm just gonna go around it just to keep these two pieces together. Tie these two strings together. So how's everybody doing tonight? It is Friday. I hope everybody has some wonderful plans for their weekend. So I'm going to take and put a little dab here of hot glue. And we're gonna add our little greenery embellishment. And that is our second star. Another thing that you can do with these stars is you can take, I have a crocodile, and this is my crocodile case. I'll show you what we use that for later on. But you can take things like these, like little thumbtack heads, or this happens to be one of those little fasteners that you use for notebooks. Because this is cardboard, you can push it through, and you can actually have little gold dots then placed onto your piece. So I'm gonna just show you one or two on this one. I'm gonna put a little hole here with my scissor. I'm gonna push this in, and then I'm gonna go to the back and take those two fasteners. And now you can see how you can add what looks like now little gold dots onto your piece. I'm just going to do these two, and I will finish adding them later, but I just wanted to give you some sense of how that could work and how that looks. Again, very simple, inexpensive items, but this is going to make a very nice ornament, I think, for my tree. As far as my hanger, what I use is some floral wire. This is I believe it's 26 gauge. I'm not sure. I don't see the gauge on here. I'll figure it out and I'll let you know. But I got this from Michael's, but you can get this almost any place. Just take you a piece clip it off with your wire snips. Again, because you're working with cardboard, you don't need any particular hole punch. It really just literally goes right through it. So there we have here. And here. And I just pull a little bit of it up. And then I push my, what would be my handle up as well. And adjust it to the length that I think is going to be good. So then what I do is I take a small pencil or marker, pen, paintbrush handle, and what I do is I just take the wire, the excess wire, and just wrap it around just to give it a little curly cue, if you will, which gives it another little dimension. And it keeps the wire from sticking you or whoever it is that's going to be placing this ornament onto the tree. So there we have our primitive rustic star. I hope you like that one. That's our first one. Hello, Miss Mays. How are you? So now we are going to create some other ornaments using some stencils. Let's get those out of the way first so that the stencils can be drying while we move on to some other things that I want to show you guys tonight. So these are just some wooden ornaments I purchased from Amazon. There's like 50 in a pack. I just base coated them with some Waverly hazelnut paint. So all of these have been base coated with that paint. This paint works well with my primitive old-fashioned Christmas decor style that I'm going for this year. And we're going to be working with a couple of stencils. The first one, this is just a plain piece of wood board. They sell these in Dollar Tree, I think like 6 or something in the pack. So definitely pick some of these up, and we're going to take that and apply this deer onto it to make another style of ornament. So let's get our fuzzing cloth. Let's get our stencil off its backing sheet. You guys have seen me use Magnolia stencils before, but if this is your first time watching, we use the fuzzing cloth to take some of the tackiness off of the stencil when it's brand new, because we don't want the stencil to pull up the paint off of our ornament. So I'm just going to fuzz this a couple of times. And I'm going to place the stencil down onto our wood blank. I'm just going to rub with my finger to make sure I don't have any air bubbles, especially where my stencil is going to be applied. And the paste that I'm going to apply on here tonight is, this is called our Irish cream paste. Oh my goodness. Okay. Whew. I have this onto my towel simply because I don't want it to necessarily stick to this sheet. So I'm gonna put the backing sheet behind it. Okay, so we're gonna get out we're gonna bring our end of our paper bag here. That's where I'm gonna put my little stir sticks. I'm gonna put a little bit of our paste down. We're gonna get us a squeegee out. You wanna press lightly. You don't want to press too hard. You definitely don't wanna bend your squeegee. If you find yourself bending the squeegee onto the piece, you are applying too much pressure, and it will likely push some of the paste up under your stencil, and you don't want that. So resist from pushing too hard, and resist from going over and over your stencil, because that will also push extra paste up underneath. So I'm going to lay these here while we close up our paste. And we're going to do a peel and reveal. And hopefully this will look the way I envisioned it in my mind. I'm just going to bring our makeshift water back to the table. I'm going to spritz the stencil with water so that this paste can begin to release itself from the stencil. I need a new water bottle, apparently. So as I always stated, you know that it's starting to release itself when you start to see the stencil clearly in the water. So this is what we have for this one. So now we want to put that to the side and let it dry for a little while. Let me get my board. Because while these are drying, we will be continuing to create. So I have another 2 styles here of stencils, and I have our pack. This actually is a kit. These stencils are white. I painted them this color. You can get them from Magnolia. I think there are 12 of them in a pack. And you can get this stencil that is designed to work with this piece, with this surface. This is called our arabesque ornaments. So let's try this and see what these look like. I've been excited to use this. This is, I think, the second year that I've seen Magnolia with it, or at least my second Christmas that I've seen it. But this is the first year that I'm actually using it. So I like to just stick my bag in on itself so that it won't stick to my stencil as I'm trying to put it in and out of the bag. All of our stencils come with care instructions on the package. I don't know if I've ever told you guys that before, but that's a really good thing to have. I tend to cut my stencils when I open the bag, and I store them in the bag that they came in, but I usually cut them apart. It's just easier to work with that way, and they'll already be cut so that the next time I'm getting ready to use them, I don't have to worry about cutting more. So I'm just going to separate these. We have our surfaces, and then we have these really pretty words. Family, in this really beautiful font, believe. We have joy, we have hope, we have peace, and we have faith. So here is hope, here is joy, and here are faith and peace. So with this, I think I want to use the almond latte paste because it's a little bit brighter than this, what was that? British cream, Irish cream. Yeah, Irish cream. Okay, so let's just get that prepped. Let's start with, I like this one, so I'm going to start with this design first. This is meant for the surface. So let's take it from its backing sheet. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to lay my ornament onto the backing sheet again because I don't want my stencil to stick to this pad. We're going to do some fuzzing really quickly. This is something you could easily do with the family. If you're gathering together for Thanksgiving, after dinner, Have everybody make an ornament that they can take home and put on their tree for Christmas. I think that would be a great idea. Children can do this. This is very easy, non-toxic, definitely something that they would enjoy. You can give them some ornaments, give them some stencils, show them how to use it, and let them go to town. Let me just turn this over and make sure that my ornament is where it's supposed to be. Let me try it this way. I think that probably is the easier way. So if you get this, that's probably the best way to do it. Put your stencil upside down and then place your ornament on top of the stencil. So here we are with our almond latte. Let's get another squeegee out. It's really not a lot. I am definitely putting way too much paste. I'm putting paste in the middle. It does not need to be in the middle because you're really just putting down the outline of this ornament. Let me just try to pick up the excess and try to find me a spot to grab so that we can do a reveal. I see right now that I do need to go back over this piece lightly. I think that's where my hole is, so that's why that may also be happening, because that may be where the hole for the ornament is. It is. Let me get some sort of paintbrush just to kind of see if I can put it into the hole while I peel my stencil away from the ornament. Wow, that is gorgeous. That is really, really nice. So again, we're gonna bring our water bath back. We're gonna spritz some. I'm gonna sit this down here and let it begin the release process while we move on. So here we go. What do you guys think? I think this is absolutely gorgeous. I love Magnolia Designs stencils because it just allows you to create some really, really beautiful things. This is beautiful even without the word in the middle. I really like these. This came out much better than I thought it would. I'm definitely more impressed than I thought I would be with this. And I think I'm gonna have fun creating these ornaments. In fact, I think I'll probably buy me another pack of blanks just so I can have some for next year, because I can see myself wanting to do something like this again next year, perhaps in another color, as I change my decor for next Christmas. So we're gonna put that to the side. We're gonna come back to that because we're gonna add one of the words to it so that we can see what that looks like finished. So now on these little round ones, what I anticipated doing was either using some of these words, because these words actually fit onto these surfaces, and you could also use our Christmas minis. So if you are someone who owns our minis, definitely you can take something like this and apply them. We have a couple here, so I'm going to show you one with the minis, and then I'm going to show you one with these words, just to give you, again, another idea for an ornament for your tree. This is especially great in case you can't find the color, the absolute color that you want for your tree. Make your own ornaments. You're not limited. You can definitely make them yourself. So we're gonna just use this one with the mittens. This is a good winter piece. If you're like me, I keep my tree up well after Christmas. So when it's hanging around still the first week in January, it's good to have some winter ornaments there. Yes, the ornaments are from Magnolia. Those ornaments, Miss Mays, this style definitely is a Magnolia ornament. It is white. Let me just show you one really quickly. They look like this. So you don't have to paint them. You can use them white and just add a color paste if you want. And while I'm here, let me just tell you how many come in the pack. So this is 4, and these were 6 out here already. 7, 8, 9, 10. Yes, you get 12 in the pack. So this is a really good thing to have in your arsenal. I'm definitely going to get another pack because I anticipate that I'll use at least 6 or 7 this Christmas. And then if I have an extra pack, then next year, whatever color I choose, I can just paint that color and have some additional ornaments. Using the same stencils, but it'll give me an entirely different look. That's the other beauty of Magnolia. So we're gonna just add this burr stencil here. Again, we're gonna bring back our almond latte. This is like my favorite color of all the paste, believe it or not. And we're just going to stencil this right on to this piece. And once it dries, I'll show you a little bit more embellishment that we can do to make this stand out even more and make it more your own. That is gorgeous as well. Let me just bring this back. You definitely don't want to skip this step. You want to start the release, especially, you know, if you're home doing this, you can just take them straight to the sink and clean them with some warm water. But because we're live, I definitely want to get some water onto them because I don't want that paste to just sit there. But here we go. So you can see how cute even that looks all by itself. But of course, you know, we won't stop there. So now I'm just going to take the second one of these arabesque ornaments. And then I'm going to show you one other style of ornament with the stencils. And then we'll move on to something else different. So we have that one. We use that backing. So now we're going to use this one for our surface. And again, because mine are new, I have to fuzz them because I don't want to pull up my paint, even though if in this case, because of the style of my decor this year, if it pulls up my paint, it actually wouldn't be that bad. Oh, thank you. Thank you very much, Miss Mays. So I'm just gonna, let me just fuzz it one more time for good measure. I'm gonna bring our backing sheet back. Definitely watch what I'm doing. So if you get yours, these are some good tips. You can watch me make the mistake so you don't have to. I love Christmas, so you guys are in for a treat because I will be bringing you along a journey that you'll be like, oh my goodness, what is she doing with all this Christmas stuff she's making? I just love it. I can't stop once I get started. I give a lot of it away. I make it for gifts. So again, this one I use the same color paint. It's the hazelnut, but the only difference is that before it dried, I took a wipe and I wiped a lot of the paint away just for another look. So I'm gonna take this, I have my stencil sticky side up, and I'm gonna take my surface and fit it onto my stencil so that it winds up in the best possible spot for stencil application. Okay, so I have that done. And now with this one, because it is a little bit lighter, I think I want to use some chocolate. paste. This color actually is going to be discontinued soon from Magnolia, and they have a new color coming out that's going to take its place. I don't know, it's going to be hard for it to beat this for me because I love this chocolate color. I think my battery is getting low in my little vacuum because it's not picking up. Either that or it's full. So, yeah, they're going to have a hard time convincing me that this new color will be better than the chocolate because I love the chocolate color. Luckily, I have like 2 more jars, so I'm not too sad. So we're going to, again, we're just going to apply a little bit of our paste. And because you're only doing the outline, you don't need to put a lot of it like I did on the other one, because we're just covering the outline in this case with this stencil. And we want to make sure that we don't push too hard and we don't apply too much. So you're going to pull up any excess. Okay. Now we've got that covered again. And now we're going to reveal. So I'm going to, what did I do with my, you guys see what I just did with that paintbrush that I was using before? Let's see. No, I don't think that one is going to work. Maybe this one will work. Let's see if I can stick this paintbrush into my ornament hole. That's too thin. 1 second, guys. Hold, please. Let's try this pen. Yeah, I think that'll work. And I'm going to try and peel this away from the ornament. Okay. I should have put this closer. Okay. Here we are with that. And here is what that one looks like. So now we have these. Let's put these, I'm gonna put these back in my bag just so that I can keep track of them. I'm gonna put this one back in my bag as well. And just really quickly while we have it out, let's just do one more with our stencils. I really like the font of this word faith. So let's use this. I always like to put them back into the bags just because when I'm using them on a live, I'm able to tell you what the name of the stencil is. So I always try to make sure I put it back in its original packaging. So here we have another one of those wood ornaments painted on the other side with hazelnut as our surface paint. I'm going to take this away from its backing sheet. We really are just going to be using the word and omitting the arrows. Okay. I'm going to turn this backing sheet over to the back of the sheet, and I'm going to put my ornament here, and I'm going to center my word. And I'm just going to press down. I'm wondering if, no, my copper probably is not going to show up as much, and my gold, I'm afraid, will be a little dim. So 1 second. Let's get some white. Okay. So here we have some white chalk paste. Gonna get another one of our sticks out. Actually, I can put these in the water now. I don't think I'll be using them anymore. I don't use white too much, as you always hear me say it's a little bit too bright, but I think I can use some of my inks and dim it down if it is too stark on this ornament. But I do want that word to pop, so that's why I elected to use the white rather than any of the other colors that we had here. And I am going to get just a little bit of those lines from the arrow here. I can see on my F I need to go a little bit higher with my paste. Okay. And let's see what we have with this. Let's do our reveal. I can see right now that I want to get a little bit more on my H. That's the beauty of when you're able to reveal it slowly, you can see if you've missed a spot and you can really quickly go back and rectify that. So if you find when you're peeling it, you've missed something, lay it back down. As long as you've done it slowly, it should fall back into place and you can go back and rectify the spot you've missed. That is gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. I have been doing this for a couple of years now with Magnolia, and these stencils just never ever cease to amaze me. Okay. Got a little bit of border there. What do you guys think? That is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. Hello, Miss Davis. Hello, Miss Dawkins. How are you? How are you, Miss Brown, my friend? How are you, Kathy? So good to see you. We are making some Christmas ornaments tonight, guys. We have made quite a few so far. All of the ones we've done so far have been with Magnolia Design stencils, and one with some brown paper bag crafting that you definitely want to make sure you go back and watch the replay so you don't miss that. So now I'm going to go back to our original one that we created, and we're going to just apply the word just so you can see what it looks like complete. So we have several words. This is a part of our Magnolia Stencil Design Arabesque ornaments. You can get these surfaces at Magnolia in my shop. And then the stencils actually come, you can buy the stencil set separately that you can use to embellish these ornaments. I will definitely put some links in at the end of the live so that you can look at them and make a purchase if you're interested. So I want to use the word joy that came with the stencil set. Actually, I think right now we do have a special where we might be offering these ornaments and the stencil together as a kit. So definitely check that out if you're interested. So with this one, we used the, I think we used the almond latte. So we're going to take our joy and we are going to get our fuzzing cloth and just fuzz this a couple of times because it is a new stencil and I don't want it to pull up all that beautiful stenciling we did initially or any of our paint. So here we have it. I think it's fuzzed enough. I'm just going to center it so that we can just apply the word joy. I'm going to press down just enough in the areas where the actual paste is going to be applied. Going to get a little bit of our paste onto my little, I call these spoons, but it's not a spoon. Stir sticks, I think is what Magnolia calls them. And here we go. So you can just cover that word. Take away any excess. Courtney, if you're watching, can you do me a favor, please? Can you come here? I'm talking to my daughter, guys. Oh my goodness, it gets better and better. I wish you guys were here with me so we could be doing this together. This is so beautiful. Courtney. I don't think she hears me. Okay. So this is what it looks like completed. What do you think? This is absolutely gorgeous. I will definitely be buying me another set of these so that I can have some for next year, that I can create some more ornaments in a different color. So we're gonna put our Magnolia ornaments to the side, and I'm gonna show you another style of ornament that you can create as well. So I'm just gonna drop those down, let those dry. I'm gonna put these extras over here, and I'm gonna pull out this. Some of you know I love working with printables and different other types of mediums. I have here, this is a Santa printable. I printed it from my computer. I actually got this printable from Etsy. It is on sale in Etsy at a shop. I forgot the name of the shop, but if you're interested, you can drop Santa in the comments or something, and then I will know that you're interested in that, and I'll make sure that you can get a link to that, to the Santa printable. So I am going to look at applying this Santa, and I had another one here. I believe it was this Santa. So let's see what we have here. So again, you guys know me, you know I love, love, love my glue sticks. So this is something you do not need hot glue for. I'm just gonna cut my printable out. This printable can be printed in various sizes. I printed this particular one in a 4x6 because I'm gonna apply it to this surface. This surface can be used to make a banner. You can make a single ornament. You can make a whole banner that can go across your fireplace. There's a lot of things you can do with this particular surface. I got these again from Amazon. They came in a pack of probably about at least 35, maybe it might even have been 50. I will definitely try and leave a link. If you're interested, drop banner link into the comments and I'll make sure that you can get that. Hello, Miss Davis, and hello, Miss Walsh. Thank you for watching. Thank you for joining. You guys, if you don't mind, send the love out into the universe. Tell everybody we're on live. Ask them to come and join us. We have done some beautiful things so far, and I think you will like what we are going to continue to do just as much, if not more. So here, again, here's my glue stick. I love my glue sticks. I'm just applying my glue generously to my surface. This glue goes on purpose, purple, on purpose. Goes on purple, as I stated, but it dries clear. You can use Dollar Tree sells a glue. It's by the company Jot. If you see those in Dollar Tree, pick them up. They are just as good. I'm sorry that I ran out and I haven't been able to find them again in my Dollar Tree. So I'm using these Elmer's glue ones that are a little bit more expensive. So if you can see if you find the Jot ones, pick those up. They serve the same purpose. I'm just gonna lay my surface down onto my printable just like this. And then I have this little thing that came with my Cricut that I just used just to kind of make sure I get a good lay. Trust me, you don't need any more glue than that. It is not gonna go anywhere. It is going to stay just fine. So now we have that, and now we take our sander, or if you don't have a finger sander, as I showed you earlier, an emery board works just as good. So, you know, either one, you know, the same emery board that you use for nail files, that's, you know, that works as well. Or the Dollar Tree sells the sanding blocks for $1.25. You can get you one of those, and it serves the same purpose. I just like this because it's cute, and I just buy a whole bunch of craft gadgets, quite honestly. You certainly don't need it, but if you want it, this again is something else that I bought from Amazon, and it does come in a pack of 2, mine did, with a bunch of these little sanding strips that you can take on and off of the actual finger sander. If it gets dull, you can change it out. And they had different grits in the pack as well, so it was a good buy. But if you don't need it unless unless you really want it. This is going to be a challenge, is to get into all of those nooks and crannies up there. I didn't think of this through quite well enough, I don't think. Especially to do this on a live, but let's see if we can do that really quickly. Because you don't need to sit here and watch me struggle with that. That's no fun. Nor is it creative. I probably should have used, I do have another one that has a flat edge. I probably should have used that one. But I really wasn't thinking when I picked this one out. But we'll make it work. We're almost done. Taking this off. And this is where your emery board is going to come in handy, because it's going to help you to get up into those spaces. And you always want to sand, when you're sanding, you want to sand away from yourself, because you don't want to sand up. It's going to pull your piece off of the surface. And it may even rip your printable. So, okay. So that's what we have so far. Looks like he was made onto this wood piece. Very little additional work has to go into this, but you know me, I don't know when to stop, so I'm definitely going to be doing some more. So now you want to take your emery board, and you just want to get in there and make sure that those edges are clean, so they look nice and professional. You got some clean edges. It's just going to make your piece look that much better. And if you make them to sell, you certainly want to have the best product that you can for your buyer. So take those extra few seconds to do things like this. It does make a difference, and it will definitely have a customer come back and become a repeat customer for you. So here we are. What do you guys think about this one? Hello, Miss Castillo. How are you? I'm so happy to see you. This says, "This home believes," and this is this vintage Santa that we purchased from Etsy. Again, if you're interested in the Santa, just put in Santa in the comments, and I will give you the link to the shop where I purchased this from. So now we're going to take this and we're going to just embellish a little bit. the first thing that I want to do is to bring in some of my inks. You guys know me, you know I love, love, love my inks. I am going to pull out my rusty hinge, and I think we're gonna pull out some gathered twigs, and we're gonna use some of our wax and see what we come up with. So we're gonna take our little makeup sponge, and we're just gonna go around and create some more depth and dimension on this centerpiece. I'm gonna bring it a little bit in to the piece. So you can see there what we have and what it's doing already. And then our next color is Gathered Twigs. These are again our Tim Holtz Distress Oxide inks. You can find these on Amazon. You can find them in Michael's. You can find them in Joann's. You can find them, I believe, in Hobby Lobby. A lot of art stores, arts and craft stores sell them. They are a little bit more expensive than your standard stamp pads, but well worth the investment because you can do so much more than just stamp with these. I use them with my art journals all the time. I use them watercoloring, blending. There's just a number of things you can do with these. You can use them to gel print with. You'll see me do some gel printing coming up soon in the future. So here we are. This is what we have so far. I am looking for my dark wax. I had it at this table because we used it earlier. Let's see. Okay, here it is right in front of my eyes. So we're gonna bring our Kills dark wax back in. We're going to get our paintbrush that we've been using to apply our wax with. I could see where I laid that. I don't, of course. So we'll bring in another. Just gonna take just a regular paintbrush, and I'm going to, what I like to call, dirty this up a little bit, because this is gonna go well with the theme of my tree. Is kind of that old world Christmas. So I want to make this a little bit dark, and this wax does the job really, really well. I want it to look like it's a piece that's been around for a while, not something that we just created today. That's the kind of feel I want this year for all of the things that I'm going to be putting on my tree. I want them to feel like they've been in my family for a while. So this is what we have here. What do you guys think? Are you guys liking this Santa? I think this Santa is so cute. I am going to, as soon as I find my rub and buff, I am definitely going to apply some rub and buff to this piece. I thought I had it at this table, but apparently I don't. So now I'm just gonna make sure that I poke my holes out. I'm gonna just use my paintbrush and just bring those holes back in, because I want to be able to hang this onto my tree this way. And you can bring in a little bit of greenery if you like. Let's see what that looks like. I think this piece, what did I do with my bag with my greenery, guys? Oh, here we go. Let's see if we can apply just a little piece down, maybe somewhere in the bottom or down here, just to give it some more character, some more dimension. Let's see which piece I want to use. I like this because this looks like a little bit like snow covered. So let's take one of these off and see what that looks like. Definitely not this big. Although, you know, for me, the bigger the better. So I might have spoken too soon. So let's see here. Yeah, I kind of like that. So we're going to apply that and give us a little bit of glue, a little bit of a glue line right there. We're going to put this down. I don't have my finger protector, so I'm going to use this pen to help me apply. In fact, I'll use my sander to help me apply this. And I have this ribbon. I love the color. I think it's going to go well with my colors this year. So I'm going to use this, some of this, as a hanger. I don't know why they like to put tape on these things. They should find something else to close these ribbons up with. But let's get us a nice clean cut. And let's cut us off a piece. I'm sure this is too big, but I'd rather it be too big than for it to not be enough. So I'm gonna take a little bit of this masking tape and I'm gonna apply it to the edge just so that I can give myself some point to be able to poke this through. I'm gonna go in from the front, from the back, because I want to, my vision is to hopefully apply some tie in the front of the ornament with this pretty ribbon. So I'm gonna bring that up through there. I can cut this off now because I know I won't need that. And I'm gonna bring another piece onto the other side so that I can do the same thing. So whenever you're trying to push a piece of ribbon through a hole like this, and if you're anything like me, age, my eyesight is not what it used to be, this helps me to guide these kinds of things into these holes with a lot less fuss. So, okay, yeah, I definitely like this color. This is blending very nicely. And what I want to do is to see if I can apply, if I can tie a little knot here that just gives it a little bit more of a decor look, kind of. So let's see. Can I take this off without cutting it? Oh, actually came off. So here we go. I definitely think it's too long, but yeah, I'm liking the idea. So probably cut this shorter. Let's see. Bring this up to here slightly, and let's try and give this a nicer edge. I'm gonna see if I can dovetail that end. Just gonna fold that ribbon in half and cut it at an angle so that we have that nice little edge. I'll show you that in a second. So here we are with this one. What do you guys think? What's the difference with the wax from the chalk? That wax is definitely something. I got this from Walmart, and it's a sealing wax, really, but I like to use it to bring in that darkness that I like to put on the edge. So that's what I use the wax for. And this is definitely not something you can put on your stencils. But I love this piece. I love the way this came out. This is going to be another really cute ornament in our tree. I could make this a little shorter, and I probably will off camera, but I just wanted to show you what that looked like. So we have that one. Let me put this over here. And I want to show you one other thing that I'm doing with another type of ornament that I'm going to be doing for my tree this year. I can't find my surface for it. Wow, that's interesting. I purchased another printable from Etsy, and it was the 12 Days of Christmas. I wanted to be able to do that this year and make 12 separate ornaments to go on the tree. And I'm going to show you what I'm using for that surface. One second. So we're going to be using 12 individual banner pieces. Now you can take this printable and you can make yourself, if you have a fireplace in your home, you can make yourself a long banner with all the 12 days of Christmas attached on that one banner, or you can make them individual ornaments as I am doing. Now this particular piece, this surface, I am not going to paint. Surprise, surprise. And I took my printable and I printed it onto actual tissue paper. I printed this from my home printer, so you can certainly do this. One of the things that you do, how you do that, is you take your tissue paper and you attach it to your computer paper. And then you run it through your printer so that it prints onto the tissue paper itself and not the computer paper. The computer paper just acts as the backing piece for the actual print. So I'm going to show you why I like that better than using the actual computer paper. If I printed it on computer paper, one is going to be bright white, and you already know how I feel about that. That's not going to work with my color scheme this year. But when you print it on tissue paper, and I have it on this light backing, I don't need to paint it already, it just pops. So what we do here, this is my first one that says a partridge in a pear tree, and you can see the number 1 down there in the bottom. I really love this printable. I think it's so delicate, so dainty, and so old world kind of looking for me. So I think, again, this matches what I'm going for. I'm going to take my paint pen and I'm just going to go outline around my piece, because that's going to give me a good point to tear from. And the reason why I like to tear it away is because it helps it to blend in better. I don't have those straight lines, if you can see them at all. So you use that paint pen, that water pen, sorry. And if you don't have a water pen, you can achieve the same thing with a paintbrush. You can just take a wet paintbrush and do the same thing. Go around your art piece on your tissue paper and just tear it away. We have some more here on the top that we can remove, so let's remove that. These, again, Amazon, Dollar Tree also carries them. Check in your Dollar Tree for them. They are more than $1.25 if you find them on Amazon. So if you find them in Dollar Tree, get it from there. So now what we do is we're going to take a little bit of Mod Podge, and I'm going to apply it with a paintbrush. I have one that I've been using around here somewhere, but we'll use this. Okay, so we're going to take a little bit of this Mod Podge and just put it down onto our surface. And then I'm going to take my printable and apply it gently to my surface. I typically bring an extra bag to the table with me for this part, and I did not today, so I'm gonna have to use this one. I take and put my hand in just a little plastic bag, and that's how I lay my piece down to try and get those wrinkles out. If you do this with your hand, you run the risk of tearing your printable. So definitely try to remember to have that plastic bag somewhere around so that you don't tear your printable. So again, I'm just lifting up in a place or two where I think I need a little bit more Mod Podge, and I'm adding it there. Let's take our bag again, lay down our printable, and then we're gonna sand, and this ornament is done. Quick and easy, but it is gonna be so beautiful, especially when we do all 12 of them. We're gonna definitely add a little bit of wax to the edge. I'm just sanding here to take off the excess tissue paper, and then I'll show you what we have. I'll show you how it really kind of almost disappears into the piece. I do need a little bit more Mod Podge up here. Some people like to seal it after they've done this. I'm in between. Do I think a sealer is a good idea? Yes, but for this purpose, because it's an ornament that's going to be on my tree, nobody's going to be touching it a lot. See, I was too rough and I did tear it a little bit, but you won't see that. But because it's an ornament going on my tree, I don't necessarily think I need to seal this. But you can, if you want, you can spray some Rust-Oleum, I think it is, makes a clear sealer that you can spray over it. So what do you guys think so far about what we're doing tonight? I hope you like it. I hope you're not bored. Let me know your thoughts. Okay, let's just seal that back up. And I am going to bring my emery board in. You can also take your glue stick and apply it. But if you're not used to working with glue stick, I would not advise you to do that on the first time out, because that takes a little bit of work. I'm just trying to get those edges down. I'm just taking that extra Mod Podge that was on the brush already and bringing it to the edge of the piece. Okay. So I hope you can see what I mean when I'm saying that it almost just disappears right onto the surface of the piece. I probably need this bag again. Should have brought my bag to the table. I'm making a real mess here tonight, guys. And I'm lifting this up. Okay. Let's get us a little bit of heat on here. Now you see why I didn't want to dump this bag out. Look how long it's taking me to get this back in the bag. We're going to definitely bring our wax back. We're going to be using some of our inks again on this. Let's just get a little bit of heat on it. Okay. I will not be responsible, Miss Mays. I will not assume responsibility for any of that. So let's get our surface clear a little bit because we're almost about done, and I do want to do a recap and show you everything we've made. But we're gonna need a clean surface to do that. So let me try and make some space over here. What did I do with my greenery bag? Here we go. So here we are. Let's get these surfaces out of the way. So again, you know, my intention is I'm going to be doing 12 of them, but I just want to give you some ideas. Again, you know, these are my ideas. You certainly can adapt them and use them to base your Christmas color scheme this year on. You don't have to use the colors that I use. You don't have to use the paste that I use. It's just to give you an idea of what you can do, of the fabulousness that you can create with Magnolia stencils, as well as what you can do with some basic items in your house that are really inexpensive, don't cost a lot of money, will not break your bank, but it will make your home look fabulous. I guarantee you your tree will be gorgeous. So we're going to bring in some ground espresso. And I am going to just bring this around a little bit onto my ornament, just to give it that color and that depth and that dimension that I just love. I am going to now bring some of this wax. Again, that is Kills Dark Wax. It is sold in Walmart. I like it because when I want things to look grungy, this dark wax definitely helps me to achieve that. I'm just going to apply a little bit here and then rub it in, burnish it in with my finger. I told you guys before, I am definitely a person who crafts with her fingers, which is the reason why you don't see me with my nails done a lot, because I really don't, I can't keep a manicure, I'm gonna be honest. So, you know, no particular way that this needs to be applied. You can use, you know, the excess tissue paper to kind of burnish it in. I just like the way that it makes things look like they're aged. And that's what I'm definitely going for this Christmas. I see a little piece of tissue on the top here. Okay, so we got rid of that. Let's close our wax up, get that out of the way. And here is the first in our 12 days of Christmas ornaments. Yeah, I don't want to bore you. I have had you here for quite a while now. I'm thinking with these, I'm going to keep my embellishment pretty simple, in that I'm probably just going to use this pretty ribbon again. I got to figure out exactly what my length should be so that I'm not wasting too much of it. And maybe a little small rusty bell of some sort. I'm going to show you this, but that doesn't mean that you have to get it. These little rusty bells, there are a ton of them in this bag. I'll probably never use them all. They came from Amazon as well. So, and then we also have a star that we can use. Let's see. I have these little rusted stars. We can probably put one of those on. Yeah, I think that will look nice. So we're gonna attempt to apply this ribbon. I'm gonna try it without the tape, just because I don't want to keep you guys on too much longer. Oh, it worked. Oh, those eyes aren't that bad, girls. So there we go. As you can see, this is gonna look nice. These colors blend so nicely together. I just love it. I am creating things for 2 trees. My daughter has decided as of last year that she wants a Christmas tree in her room, and she has a full-size tree. Unlike her brother and I, who have little small trees in our room, you know, she wants like a 6-foot tree. So we have to create enough decor for not just our main tree, but for the tree that goes in her room as well. So here you are. And let's see what this looks like with our little, first of all, let's trim these ends a little bit of this ribbon. We don't need it this long. Let's give us a nice little dovetail there. Okay, and let's see what that looks like with the star and where we would put the star actually. I think let's put a star maybe here. Or we could take it down here towards the end. Or we can try, let's just see what it looks like with, because we're going to be doing 12 of these, and they are, you know, part of the set. I don't want all 12 of them to look exactly alike though. We've used enough greenery tonight, so I think I won't put a piece of greenery here. I think instead what we might do is put this star on this piece. And then as we continue to make more, we'll add greenery, we'll do some other embellishments and pull it together that way. Okay, let's get our glue gun. Let's see if we can add some glue on these ends, because these are the pieces that will likely be touching the piece. Yeah, that's it for this manicure. I got glue on my nails. So here we go. I love it. I think it is gorgeous. I think these 12 ornaments hanging all throughout the tree is going to be really, really nice this year. So let me clean up a little bit so I can show you everything that we've created tonight. I can tell you that we will be on sometime tomorrow. If you don't see the post tonight telling you what time we're coming on tomorrow, make sure you check in the morning to see what time I'll be on tomorrow. I have to come back on because I just told you I have a lot of things that I need to create. I got a lot of ornaments to create for 2 trees, and I need to get it done. So I'm going to bring you in the process. So let's go back to what we've done tonight. I probably will mess around with these a little bit more and do some embellishments on them. Maybe, maybe not. But in any case, I will definitely post the pictures so you can see if anything changes. So let's get get a surface that's going to enable you to see. It doesn't have a lot going on. Let me dump this into the garbage so that I can flip it over to the clean side and show you what we've got accomplished so far tonight. So this was our first ornament that we made of the night. And we did this with our cardboard and our paper bags. Added some greenery, some stamping on it. We started adding some little gold dots, which are really safety paper fasteners. I'm gonna add a few more of those, but this is awesome. I love, love, love this piece. Very inexpensive to make and really, really looks absolutely gorgeous. So that was our first ornament. And then we created also tonight, we created this piece. I'm definitely gonna be adding a little bit more. I'll probably add some snow, what represents snow here. We'll definitely add a handle here to this piece. This is our reindeer. Maybe I'll even name him. Maybe I'll name him one of Santa's reindeers, but you'll see the finished piece. But this is another piece. This was made out of the Dollar Tree wood squares. And then we have our magnolia stencils. These were made out of our arabesque ornaments. This one is entirely complete with the word joy on it. Here is another one, same ornament, different paint technique. We're gonna add a word here so you can see that you can do many different things with these. You can paint them. This one was painted, this one was painted and then wiped off in kind of a stain, if you will. And then this is what the ornament looks like unpainted. So you can, the choice is yours. Here is another ornament we created with our magnolia minis. This is just a wood ornament that I purchased from Amazon. This has one of our minis on it. I'll probably add a little bit of snowflakes onto this one, simply because it is the winter mittens. And then we have definitely one of my favorites, this Faith. I absolutely love Faith. Oh my God, it is so beautiful. I definitely will be using all of those words in that stencil pack because this is absolutely gorgeous. I love it. I'm gonna add some really pretty ribbon as a hanger for that. So we have that. Then we have our vintage Santa. He is absolutely cute and fun. He's gonna look really nice on our tree. And then we have the first in our 12 days of Christmas. So we've created quite a few ornaments tonight. I'm gonna finish off on these 12 days of Christmas probably tonight and embellish a few of these. So look for the pictures on our page and in our group. I hope you enjoyed these. I hope I've inspired you. I hope you have gotten some ideas and definitely will be willing to try some of this for yourself to create some ornaments for your home. I'm definitely going to sand this. As you know, I like to have those edges shown, so I'm going to sand around this. Yeah, consider making some ornaments for your home. I think these will be great pieces, definitely pieces that your children and your family will appreciate in years to come, because they'll be able to recall the year that you made them or that perhaps they helped you to make them. And then, each piece will have a story behind it. And that's what I like about making my own ornaments. I do purchase ornaments. I will have purchased ornaments on my tree, but I also like to make some of my own because these are the ornaments that have an actual story. The other ones, you just went and picked them up in the store. So I hope you like this. I hope you'll come back. We will be back on tomorrow. Tomorrow, I think we will likely be creating some trees. The other thing that I love, love, love to make during the Christmas season are some Christmas trees. I have them made all and scattered out all through my house. I use different elements to make my Christmas trees. Some of them, are made with plaster. Some of them are made using paper mache. Some of them are made using just greenery. We use wood shims to make trees. So we're going to be making all kinds of trees. I hope you come back. I hope you stick around, and I hope you tell a friend. Tell them what we're doing over here. Ask everybody to come over and join, and let's have some crafting fun. Until then, I will see you guys on tomorrow. Be blessed, be well, and have a great rest of your night. Thank you for stopping by. Bye-bye.